I watched over 1,000 hours of self-improvement content from people who are far more successful than myself, and here are 35 life lessons I've learned from them, going from the most simple ones to the more advanced ones. Also, most of these lessons are from my Discord server, the Wisdom Clan, where I post daily lessons like this, so if you like this video, make sure to join with the first link in the description. Number 1. Plan your day. You need structure to your day, especially if you are new to self-improvement. Otherwise, you will be more prone to do the bad habits. You want to plan your day the night before while you still have that masculine stoic mindset, because when you wake up and you don't have a clearly set schedule, you are more likely to make a decision based on your emotions, and your emotions always choose the more comfortable thing. Number 2. Don't make your routine too long. When you plan your routine, you want to avoid one mistake a lot of guys make, which is that they make their routine too long. They hear about all these amazing habits online, and they start doing them all, and then they don't even have time or energy to do anything. So while you want to have a morning routine, keep it short with only the essential habits. Number 3. Don't try to get balance when you are young. No successful person got rich through balance. That is just what it seems like when you see them online. You don't get rich through balance. You get rich, and then you get balance. You first fully develop one part of your life, and then you fully develop the other. You don't do everything at once, because when you move in all directions at once, you make no progress. Number 4. Keep going. It is not about how many good habits you do in a day. It can be all of them or none of them. What matters is that you try again the next day. Number 5. Believe in yourself. The mainstream advice saying, "Oh, just believe in yourself," is actually very powerful. Faith moves mountains. When you believe you are sick, you will get sick. So therefore, you want to believe the opposite, that you can't get sick, and that you can do anything you want because you are that guy. Number 6. Visualize success. You might think that this is kind of wishy-washy and that it's pseudoscience, but visualizations can actually be really powerful, because when you imagine something, when you imagine your cold approach going great, when you imagine your PR in the gym, when you imagine getting a good test score, you are going to act differently after, and you are going to work harder for it because you've already set your mind up to achieve it. Number 7. Improve your mental health. I know most of you have heard this so many times already, but I really want to emphasize this as much as possible. Having good mental health is the first building block of success. Number 8. Sleep more than 8 hours. You might actually not know this. When you sleep just 8 hours, you are actually only sleeping 6, because there is a thing called sleep efficiency, and for most people it is 80%. So that means that when you sleep 8 hours, then 80% of that is just 6. So therefore, if you want to get a sufficient amount of sleep, you need to sleep for at least 10 hours. Number 9. Don't reward yourself by punishing your progress. Imagine if you just got a good grade on a test you studied really hard for, and as a reward, you smash your head in with a hammer. That's not a very good idea, right? But that is essentially what you are doing. You achieve something that you worked really hard for, and then you celebrate by punishing your progress. You are basically destroying what you just built. So reward your progress with something that doesn't punish it. Number 10. Don't abandon your friends. As you get better and better at self-improvement, you might want to stop hanging out with your friends, because it feels like they don't really support your self-improvement journey. But the thing is, you need a social life. You need people to talk to. Otherwise, your social skills will suffer. Therefore, you want to keep your old friends around while you look for new ones who actually align with your beliefs. Number 11. Get life experience. If you were somewhat of a nerd before you got into self-improvement, chances are you don't have much life experience. All you know is how to max out a character in a video game, and now you know the most optimal way to build muscle. But you don't have any actual life experience. You don't have any stories to tell. So go to some parties, go to some social events. Don't be a degenerate, but do some social activities to get life experience that you can later turn into a business. Why do you think Andrew Tate got so famous? Because he had a bunch of life experiences that he could share. Number 12. Pleasure is always followed by pain. This is just how the human body works. When you do something pleasurable, it has to be later followed by pain. When you get a lot of pleasure on a day-to-day basis, normal not pleasurable things will be harder to do. They will be more painful because your line for what feels fun and pleasurable is too high now. On the other hand, if you experience a lot of pain in your day, the opposite will happen. Everything will feel more pleasurable. Number 13. Delay pleasure. The unsuccessful person delays pain. The successful person delays pleasure. The successful person does the hard thing first and delays the pleasurable thing. The unsuccessful person does the opposite. Number 14. Discipline is necessary. Motivation is a treat. Discipline is when you do something you don't feel like doing. Motivation is when you do something that you feel like doing. A lot of guys in the self-improvement self-improvement space shit on motivation. They say all you need is discipline. The thing is, discipline is very important. It is the most important thing. But don't shit on motivation. Motivation is a nice treat. Motivation is a nice treat that you sometimes get to help you. Number 15. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. When you hang around someone a lot, you become more like them. And this includes even the influencers you watch. So you are most likely very similar to your favorite influencer. Or chances are you are very similar to your best friend now because you hang out with him a lot. And maybe that doesn't bother you, but being like some other people might. So be careful who you hang around with and watch. Number 16. You can learn something from everyone. There is a quote in the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. Every man I meet is my superior in some way, and that I learn from him. And it is true that you can learn something from everyone, but the things certain people can teach you are not very valuable. So don't waste your time with everyone. Number 17. Paid education is far better than free education. I don't have a product I sell, but I see a lot of guys hating on other creators, saying that the knowledge they provide in their products is easily accessible on YouTube for free. But the thing is, if you want to educate yourself on YouTube, you have to go through so much yapping for the YouTuber to actually get to the point. And to actually understand the subject, you waste like 20 hours or something. But if you buy a course, the creator already made money from you buying the course, so he doesn't have to talk in this weird way to get you to keep watching, and he can actually get to the point straight away. The same thing with books and other paid products. The creators already got paid, so they can now only talk about the important stuff. Number 18. Challenge your limiting beliefs. Almost everything you believe was put on you by other people, and chances are, the people who say those things aren't very smart. So make sure you ask yourself why you believe the things you believe, especially if it is something that is holding you back. For example, there are a lot of guys in India who cope and say that they can't make a lot of money because the average wage there is very low. That's stupid, right? They can make the money online. So make sure you challenge your beliefs. Number 19. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. This is the first rule from Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life. And the main message in it is that if you stand up straight with your shoulders back, you are basically faking confidence. And when you fake something for a long enough time frame, your mind makes it come true. So therefore, if you fake being confident, you become more confident. Number 20. Improve your looks. In this modern world, looks are more important than ever. An ugly person will always get treated worse than a good-looking person, and a fat person will get treated worse than a fit person. You can say that is fatphobic or whatever, but that is just a fact of life. When people see that you are lazy and that you don't take care of yourself, they will treat you worse. And this doesn't mean that you should develop an obsession with analyzing your face, thinking about canthal tilt, and things like that. Obviously not. You should focus on the things you can change, which are losing fat, gaining muscle, grooming well, mewing to get a better jawline, improving your diet for better skin, etc. Number 21. Assume you got lucky. It is better to assume that the success you have achieved so far is just luck, because when you assume that it is luck, it makes you realize that you aren't that good, and it will make you work harder. Number 22. Discover your purpose. A man who isn't working on his purpose will suffer. Purpose is kind of like your life's mission. It's the reason you were put on this planet. It's your unique gift. And how do you find your purpose? Well, check out this video about the book Mastery by Robert Greene, where I talk about that and many other things you might be interested in. Number 23. Work to provide. You will work much harder if you work so you can retire your parents one day. You will work out much more if you work out to get more attractive and attract more girls. And so many guys are not taking advantage of this. And they say they work just for themselves, that they don't do it for anyone else. But that is the reason they make little to no progress. Number 24. Compete. This is another thing so many guys these days are saying. Oh, I don't compete with anyone else. I just compete with myself. The reason they say this is because they are afraid of the masculine competition. They are scared of losing. And so they cope and say that competing is toxic masculinity or whatever other excuse they make. Number 25. Have reasonably unreasonable goals. Having really high goals will motivate you to work harder for them, but they can't be too high, because then you are just going to burn out. So the analogy I like to use here is to have reasonably unreasonable goals. Have high goals that motivate you, but not too high that will make you burn out. Number 26. Don't let your emotions decide what you do. The masculine makes decisions based on logic, and the feminine makes decisions based on emotions. Therefore, if you want to be more masculine, you need to make your decisions based on logic. If you make decisions based on your emotions and do only the things you feel like doing, you will end up living a nihilistic life chasing pleasure. Number 27. Stop hoping for the completion of anything in life. So many men have the mindset that if they work hard enough now, they will eventually be able to stop self-improvement and enjoy life. The thing is, if you stop, you go back to the life you once lived. And even if you didn't, your life would just be boring. Imagine how boring it would be to just sit around at the beach drinking cocktails and eating food. I would hate that. You always need something to strive for as a man. Number 28. Master a skill. The only way to get rich in the 21st century is to master a skill. Become exceptional at something. It doesn't matter what it is. It just has to be something. I'll give you an example. You probably know a guy called Salt Bae, right? All he did was put salt on food. Everyone can do that, right? But he did it the best and marketed it well, and now he is making millions. So it really doesn't matter what skill it is. You just need to be exceptional at it. But this is something you need to know. The skill you master should be something that aligns with your purpose, which I already talked about in the 22nd lesson. Number 29. Make the work fun. If your work is fun, you will want to do it more. It's as simple as that. But how do you make the work fun? Well, that's the harder part. In order to make your work fun, it has to be the most stimulating part of your day, which means that you have to stop doing all these other overstimulating activities, like scrolling on TikTok or playing video games. Number 30. Optimize your diet. Every food has an impact on your brain and your testosterone levels. And therefore, if you want the most optimal brain sharpness and the highest testosterone you can naturally get, you need to eat an all-natural diet, which means steak, eggs, butter, salt, fruit, and vegetables. That's it. Eat that, and you will have the top 1% diet. Number 31. Parkinson's Law. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. The more time you have to finish a task, the longer it's going to take. So if you give yourself a short amount of time to do your work, it will be done sooner. If you are reasonable, of course. Number 32. Eat the frog. Believe it or not, this doesn't mean that you should go and start eating frogs. This is a concept from the entrepreneur Brian Tracy. Fundamentally, what this means is that you do the hardest task possible first thing in your day so that you don't have to think about it later. Just like eating a frog before dinner. It's better to eat it before that. Number 33. There is no shortcut to success. The only shortcut to success there is to never miss a day, because sometimes you will get lucky. That's just the nature of life. Sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you get unlucky. And if you work every day, you can't miss a lucky day. Number 34. Have a student mindset. In order to keep improving, you need to keep on learning every day. This is something you just need to ingrain in your head. Just learn something every day. That's it. Number 35. Breathe deeply. This is a chapter from The Way of the Superior Man, and that is what I want to end the video with today, because I want you to implement this lesson right now and use it throughout the day. I want you to breathe down the front. Basically, what this means is that you take full, deep breaths that go from your chest into your belly, and then into your balls. You probably won't be able to do that just yet, because that takes practice. But I want you to try and do that. Every time you think about this lesson, I want you to take the deepest breath possible. Alright, that's it for today. Go click on the subscribe button, share this video with a friend who needs to hear it, go join the Wisdom Clan with the first link in the description, and go do something productive now. Bye.